Welcome to C Cars, where classic cars meet unbeatable prices. Today, we unveil 15 project cars under $3,000. Let's dive in. Howdy, classic car fans. Today, we're checking out the 1965 Dodge Dart, a project car with loads of potential. This beauty boasts 70,000 miles on the clock, an automatic transmission, and rocks a stylish red exterior with a comfy gray interior. Under the hood, there's a trusty slant six-cylinder engine. Now, the seller's asking $2,100, but in my humble opinion, this project's worth closer to $1,500. Don't get me wrong, it's got a clean title and runs, but considering the work it needs, that price feels a tad steep. But hey, don't let that deter you. Swing by Orange, California, take her for a spin, and see if she speaks to your inner gearhead. With a little elbow grease and the right price, this Dodge Dart could be your ticket to classic car glory. All right, folks, let's get down to brass tacks. We're talking about a 1965 Ford Thunderbird listed for $2,100 in Napa, California. With 140,000 miles on the clock, this baby's packing a FE 390 big block engine and automatic transmission. Here's the scoop. It's got a blue exterior, some rust on the floorboards, and needs a bit of love. The seller's asking $2,100, but in my book, this project car's worth closer to $1,500. If you're willing to roll up your sleeves and give it some TLC, this Thunderbird could be your ticket to classic car heaven. Just remember, always do your homework before sealing the deal. All right, gearheads, let's talk about a classic in need of some TLC. The 1964 Plymouth Belvedere, up for grabs at $2,800 in Spring Creek, Nevada. This ride's got an automatic transmission and sports a slick gray exterior. But here's the lowdown. It runs and drives, but it's begging for a new tranny seal and exhaust. It's a project car, plain and simple. Now about that price tag, $2,800 might be a bit steep considering the work it needs. In my book, this Belvedere is more fitting for a lower price. No disrespect to the seller, just keeping it real. If you're handy with a wrench and looking for a project, this could be your ticket. Plus, the seller's open to trades, so there's some wiggle room. So, if you're ready to dive into the world of classic car restoration, this Plymouth Belvedere might just be your next adventure. All right, buckle up, folks, because we're about to take a quick spin through the world of classic cars with this 1960 Chevrolet Corvair Monza 900. Priced at a cool $2,000, this project car has been lounging around in Grass Valley, California for about 8 weeks now. With 55,000 miles under its belt, this Corvair boasts a turquoise exterior and interior, giving off those nostalgic vibes we all love. But here's the deal, folks. While it's got bucket seats and all the original parts, it's not exactly road ready. The Powerglide transmission needs some love after its siesta, and the brakes have already been given a pep talk. Now, the seller's throwing in some extra parts, and hey, it's got a clean title, but let's talk turkey here. Is $2,000 the right price tag for this vintage dream, or do you think it deserves a sweeter deal? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's get this classic car convo revved up. All right, folks, let's cut to the chase with this 1967 Cadillac DeVille Sedan 4D. Priced at $2,500, it's been lounging around since 1990, so you're looking at a serious project here. Engine's taking a nap, interior's a bit tired, and rust? Yeah, it's got its own party going on. Now, don't get me wrong, there's potential, but $2,500? That's a hefty tag for a sleeping beauty. So, here's the question for you, dear viewers. What's a fair price for this classic project car? Let's hear your thoughts down below. Let's get that discussion rolling. Howdy, folks. Today, we're checking out a classic American beauty, the 1969 Lincoln Continental, listed at $2,200 out in Vallejo, California. Clocking in at 96,000 miles, this green-on-green dream boasts an automatic transmission and a clean title. But hold your horses, partner, because she's a project car through and through. Currently not running and sold as is, but with some love, she could shine like a new penny. Sure, the original 460 motor got a little TLC with new seals and a timing chain, but that rust on the roof ain't exactly a fashion statement. Now, here's the kicker. $2,200 might be a bit steep for a project in this condition. What say you folks? What's a fair price for this slice of classic car history? Let's rustle up some opinions in the comments below. Howdy, fellow classic car enthusiasts. Today we're taking a closer look at a 1963 Dodge Valiant, up for grabs at a price tag of $2,000 down in sunny Los Angeles, California. With a mileage of 125,888, this vintage beauty boasts an automatic transmission and rocks a sleek gray exterior. But before you get too excited, folks, let's pump the brakes and examine the fine print. Sure, she may still fire up, but let's be honest. She's in dire need of some tender loving care. Sporting a 6-inline automatic and a convertible top, she's got more rust on her floors than a retired pirate ship. Now here's the kicker. Priced at $2,000 or best offer, she's flaunting a salvage title and only a bill of sale. But is this price tag justified, or are we dreaming of days gone by? So, what's the verdict, folks? Do you think this Dodge Valiant is worth the asking price? Or should it come with a discount, sign slapped on the windshield? Let's spark up some conversation down below in the comments. Howdy, folks. Today, we're checking out a classic 1950s Chevrolet sedan base from sunny Waddle, Arizona. This vintage ride's got a lot of character, but let's break it down. Under the hood, you'll find a 235 straight-six engine that's seen its fair share of miles. And with that broken rocker arm, it's gonna need some love before it purrs like a kitten again. Now on the price tag front, it's listed at $2,300. But hold your horses, folks. In my book, for a project car like this, I'd say it's priced a tad on the steep side. What do y'all reckon? What's a fair price for a fixer-upper like this? Let's hear your thoughts down in the comments. Howdy, folks. Today we're cruising through the classic car scene with a charming 1952 Plymouth Sedan all the way from Olivehurst, California. But let's put the brakes on and take a closer look at this vintage ride. Now, this Plymouth boasts an automatic transmission and sports a unique purple paint job that's sure to catch the eye. But before you rev up your engines, let's talk turkey. Listed at $2,000, this project car seems like a steal, right? Well, hold on to your hats, folks. Considering it needs a bit of TLC on the tires and brakes, I'd say the price might need a bit of a tune-up itself. What's your take on this, folks? Do you think $2,000 is a fair shake for this Plymouth, or should it come down a few notches? Let's spark up some conversation in the comments below and see where the rubber meets the road. All right, let's give this classic critique a little tweak with a pinch of price perspective. So, we're eyeing up this 1967 Thunderbird, listed at $2,500. Now, that's not exactly chump change, especially considering its current state. Sure, it's got potential, the 390 FE engine, the front disc brakes, the AC, but let's be real here. It's been chilling in the desert for who knows how long. And with a transmission that's gone MIA, we're looking at a project that's gonna need some serious TLC. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm all about a good restoration challenge, but at this price point, I can't help but wonder, is this bird flying a little too high? So, here's the million-dollar question, or rather, the $2,500 question. What's a fair price for a project like this? Drop your 2 cents in the comments below, folks. Let's spark up a discussion and see where the rubber meets the road when it comes to vintage wheels and deal-making. Let's give this classic cruiser a quick once-over. We're talking about a 1963 Chrysler 300C Platinum sedan, listed at $2,500 out in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Now, she's been parked there for about 16 weeks, patiently waiting for a new owner to rev her up. Under the hood, you've got a Hardy 383 wedge, and despite losing her keys ages ago, the sellers come up with some MacGyver-esque solution to get her running again. Plus, she's sporting fresh tires and a body that's aged like a fine bourbon, except for that missing rear window. But here's the kicker. $2,500 seems a tad steep for a project with a few missing pieces, don't you think? So, here's the million-dollar question. Well, $2,500 actually. What's a fair price for this slice of vintage charm? Drop your 2 cents in the comments below, and let's kickstart a discussion on the sweet spot for classic car bargains. All right, time to give the lowdown on this 1961 Chevrolet Corsica, up for grabs at $2,500 in Los Angeles, California. This old-school ride's been on the market for 11 weeks now, and it's begging for a new lease on life. Here's the scoop. Under the hood, you've got a fresh Chevy Corvair engine, never even kissed the pavement. But there's a hiccup. The starter's gone MIA, courtesy of some sneaky hands. Now, $2,500 might sound like a bargain for a classic beauty like this. But let's pump the brakes for a sec. Is it really worth the price tag, especially with that missing starter? Share your 2 cents in the comments below, and let's hash out what a fair deal looks like for this vintage project car. All right, folks, gather around for a tale of Americana on 4 wheels. We've got ourselves a 1950 Jeep Willys straight out of Lemoore, California. Now, this ain't your grandma's Sunday cruiser. This is a project car with some serious potential. First off, let's talk about the heart of this beast. Underneath that iconic Willys hood sits a Chevy small block swap. And while the seller's fairly certain it's packing a 283, well, let's just say it's like guessing the number of jelly beans in a jar. You never quite know until you pop the hood. Now, she's not purring like a kitten just yet. In fact, she's not purring at all. This baby's gonna need some TLC under the hood before she's ready to hit the open road. But fear not, my fellow gearheads, because a project like this is where the magic happens. Sure, she may not run right now, but imagine the satisfaction of bringing her back to life with your own 2 hands. It's like a mechanical resurrection, folks. Now, let's talk turkey, or in this case, dollars. The seller's asking $2,500, and for a project like this, it's not too shabby. But remember, there's a dance to be had when it comes to project cars. You gotta factor in the cost of parts, elbow grease, and maybe a few cold ones for the buddies who lend a hand. So, while the price may seem like a steal, just keep in mind the investment you'll be making to get her roadworthy. And hey, if you're in the market for a little piece of automotive history and you've got the patience and know-how to bring this Willys back from the brink, then this might just be the adventure you've been waiting for. So, roll up your sleeves, grab your toolbox, and let's make some memories on 4 wheels. All right, folks, let's dive into another classic car adventure with this 1950 Dodge Special Deluxe straight out of Galt, California. Now buckle up, because this one's a bit of a fixer-upper. Priced at $2,000, this Dodge is definitely on the more affordable end of the classic car spectrum. But before you start counting your pennies, let's talk turkey. This baby needs some loving. We're talking tires, floor pans, brakes, you name it. She's been sitting for a spell, and while the engine and transmission are still kicking, she's gonna need a bit more than a pat on the hood to get back in action. Now, don't get me wrong, there's potential here. With a little elbow grease and a lot of determination, you could turn this Dodge into the envy of the neighborhood. But at $2,000, does the price match the project? That's the million-dollar question, folks. I want to hear from you. Do you think this classic cruiser is priced just right for the amount of work it needs? Or do you reckon it should come with a lower price tag? Sound off in the comments below, and let's keep the classic car conversation rolling. All right, folks, let's take a trip down memory lane with this 1957 Studebaker Parkview Commander out of Wellington, Nevada. Now, this ain't just any old wagon. It's a piece of automotive history with a story to tell. Listed at $2,500, this Studebaker might seem like a steal for those nostalgic for the golden age of American automobiles. But before you break out the checkbook, let's pop the hood and take a closer look. Sure, she's got that original 259 cubic inch V8 engine and a 3-speed automatic transmission, but she's not exactly road ready. The engine might turn over by hand, but she's not firing up anytime soon. Plus, those floorboards are in need of a serious makeover. Now, I'm not saying this Studebaker isn't worth the investment. After all, she's got that classic charm and plenty of potential for a restoration project. But at $2,500, does the price match the condition? That's the burning question, folks. So, what say you? Is this Studebaker priced just right for a project car, or do you reckon it should come with a more budget-friendly tag? Sound off in the comments below, and let's keep the classic car conversation cruising. Thanks for joining us on this classic car adventure at C-Cars. Don't forget to subscribe for more budget-friendly vintage finds. Until next time, happy cruising.